Hello everyone, how's everyone doing today? Chef K here. Today we will be making some blueberry muffins. So we are going to start with our dry ingredients. So we're going to do all the dry ingredients together first. So the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of flour. Get that going first. Cup. And a half cup. Cup and a half here. Then it calls for half a teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon. Goes in our flour, and then it's 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Remember, we can use the top to level this off. There's 1 and 2. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Gonna mix all the dry up. Then I'm going to start my liquid ingredients. So first thing is, it's 1 egg. So I have my bowl here. I'm going to crack my egg. And I'm going to actually put the egg right into the mixer. Put that down. I'm going to start mixing that egg up. Then we're going to need oil, 1/3 cup of oil. So I'm going to find my 1/3 cup here, and it's right here, the bottom line there. There's our oil. I'm going to put that in here. And also it's supposed to have sugar. I ran low on sugar today, so I actually pre-measured it, and actually I forgot to put that in, but that goes in our dry ingredients also. So that's our sugar, 3/4 cup. But I was a little short, I was a little low on sugar today. I have to get back out to the store, and eventually I'll get some more of that. So we have all our dry ingredients, we're working on our oil, we have our oil and eggs mixing together, and now just one more liquid ingredient would be our milk. And the milk is actually the same amount, 1/3 cup. So over here, do our milk. And that's all the liquid. So our liquid is all finished, and our dry is finished. So now the only thing we have to do is mix our dry into liquid. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a cup measure and just kind of gradually add that to the liquid mixture. As you see, we have a paddle beater on there today to mix this. Of course, it's not a dough, so we don't need a dough hook, and we don't have to incorporate air in it, so we don't need a whisk or a whip. So we're using a dough, the paddle beater. A bit more of this. And we did already preheat our oven too. So the oven was supposed to be preheated to 400 degrees. So we did do that before we even started here. So that's ready to go already. It already beeped, so we're already preheated. You can see I have some flour on the side. Sometimes I'll tap the bowl. That'll get some of it down, but of course, we're gonna need really our scraper, a rubber spatula, and we're going to scrape that down and make sure we have all the dry ingredients down inside. And then we're gonna add, probably could add the rest of these dry ingredients. I'm just gonna lift that right up and get the whole rest of this dry ingredient in there. See, we can maybe scrape one more time. And we should be good with the mixture after that. Let it mix one more time. And once they're mixed, we're going to bring that up and let that drip off a little bit. What I'm going to do is actually scrape that off. Take that off of there. That over there. And I think what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to add this to the smaller bowl so it's easy for me to fold in the blueberries, because the next step is to fold the blueberries in. So I think I'm going to go right into this other bowl here where I can get to it easier. And we got pretty much most of everything out of there. And then we're gonna fold them blueberries in. So fold, of course, means incorporating from the top to the bottom. So I have a cup of blueberries already washed off and rinsed. We're gonna throw them in. Some big blueberries in there. We're just gonna go from the top to the bottom and incorporate them in. You can see it's going to have a good amount of blueberries in there. All right, so the next step is you can either spray and coat the muffin pan, or you can just take and put liners in. I like putting the liners in. It's easy, clean up, and you can eat the muffins right from the liners, so it's a little easier to take care of and clean up. So what I have is a scoop, and I'm just gonna scoop, and it's probably gonna be about 2 scoops for each one, or close to that. But what I might do is just go over through all of them once and see how much I have, and then go back over. Figuring this is going to be about a dozen, 12 muffins out of this. And there's another step in this. It actually calls for topping on these. So if you don't want the extra sugar topping, you don't have to do that. Actually, I might actually leave some without myself. It looks like, I don't know if we're gonna get a total dozen. So what I might do is go back and just fill some of the other ones up a little bit more, make sure we have enough, and then we might just end up with 10. We'll see, it might be just 10 in here. Some of these are a little low, we can fill them up. Just scrape whatever I can get with the rubber scraper spatula here. And we're pretty close to what we're gonna get out of this. So I think it's about 10 nice size muffins out of this recipe. You probably could have made 12, but they wouldn't have been filled all the way, so I want them nice and full. More here. Could use a little bit. I think it's this one. And that is it for the mix. And it just has one more thing you can do. You know, I think it could be an optional thing, but it's a topping, which says it's ½ cup of sugar. Like I said, I ran out of sugar, so I'm just putting some brown sugar in there. And it says 1/3 cup of flour. So I have 1/3 cup here. So I'm gonna put 1/3 cup of flour in there. And it calls for 1/4 cup of butter. So 1/4 cup is gonna be 4 tablespoons. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna cut that right in half, because that's about ½ a stick. And then I'm gonna add that to the mixture. And I'm just gonna cut these into little smaller chunks so they incorporate in there. I'm just gonna break them up into little smaller pieces. Then I'm going to use one more tool, and everyone should know what this is. It's called the pastry blender, so it's what we use to cut in fat into our flour, and we're going to kind of use that. We're cutting the fat into this flour, but it has some sugar in it also, and that's going to how we're going to make our topping for this. It calls for cinnamon too, but I don't know if I want cinnamon on the top of these. I think it's just this little sugar, flour, butter mixture. It'll be fine. Like I said, I'm not going to cover all of them with this. I think I'm just going to do maybe half of them, or some people are watching what they're eating, and I don't want to put extra sugar and butter in there if I don't have to. So this is kind of an optional thing. It does say on the recipe that it has it, but you don't always have to add everything that's in there. I mean, for the baking part, yes. For the batter, you definitely want everything, but for the topping, it's up to you. So as you can see, we got just this mixture here. And it's kind of like just crumb topping. That's basically what it is. Like if you did an apple crisp type of thing, similar to that. The thing is, I said I had to use the brown sugar instead of the regular granular sugar. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm just going to sprinkle this on some of them. So a little bit on there, and that'll just like cook right on top. It'll probably melt right in there. So we'll do just that many with the chrome topping. So I got about half of them there, and then basically we're just baking these, and they bake for about 20-25 minutes. All right, so of course I'm not going to have people wait for this. So this is basically the recipe and the finished product. Maybe I'll try to show you in another video.
Do a picture.
All right, or take a picture of it. Okay, guys. Well, thank you again for watching, and everyone take care.